Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic University podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Canton III, and it is a brand new day, folks. Spider-Man Brand New Day's trailer is out. And ironically, this panel that we have here, if you're watching on YouTube right now, normally me and Jake just do these trailers by ourselves, but we happen to have this wonderful panel here for Blade 2, which you should find on our Patreon, patreon.com/MC University Pod, where you can get our bonus content such as Blade 2, which we're recording after this, plus every single backlog episode of everything that we've ever done, plus the Discord, which we've had plenty of fun conversations regarding every single thing in the MCU and other things. We've done other movie franchises such as Blade. And if you want that and all of everything that we have, $3 for that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, let me introduce the super producer, Jake Christie. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited that we have this panel to talk about it. I'm excited we finally have a trailer. And I'm excited, if I may quote, no, you guys probably don't know this guy on TikTok named Cedric, who teaches you how to throw baseball pitches, that this trailer is nothing but fucking gas.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it certainly is. And we have two friends of the show here with us. First, this is a wrestling media. He's all over the place. You got the ringer. You got what is it? Is it? It's crowned, right? It's crowned. If
Uncrowned. Yahoo
uncrowned.
Uncrowned.
See, I always keep forgetting. Just want to make sure. Our pal Cam Hawkins. Cam, how you doing, sir?
Hey man, happy to be here. Happy to kick it with you guys. Up at the crack of dawn watching Invincible and then watching the Spider-Man trailer. It was a fantastic morning. How much fun both of them were. But yeah, that trailer was some heat, man. Can't wait to talk about it.
Yes, and also we leave the key under the mat for him, and every time he shows up, Rod Morrow, aka the black guy who tips. Rod, how you doing, sir?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Really feeling good after seeing that trailer. I just watched it like about 10, 15 minutes before we got on the air. And it was like, yeah, they don't miss, dog. I was worried about what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, like there's so many different things that you can say about it, but it wouldn't be this podcast if I went totally minutia first, because, and ironically, Tej was supposed to be here, but he decided to be a responsible adult and do his job and not be here. But
he got called back in because the judge found out he used AI for the jaywalking brief.
Well, he was going to complain about yesterday. Yesterday, there was a little bit of a promotion for this trailer, and what Sony did, they decided to take a lot of small content creators and have them all make posts regarding the movie's trailer in little 2 to 3 second clips, which annoyed the internet to no end. Which I would say half the internet to no end, and the other half, like the real sickos like myself, they're just like, oh, okay, this is just like catnip. I am all in on this. I think it's the same thing as the chairs in Doomsday, where people were very annoyed by it, but it got them talking about the movie for the entire day, which is kind of the point of the marketing. And I feel like it worked.
They got 2 days.
They got 2 entire days of this. Rod, I'll start with you. What did you think of how they went about doing this?
Oh, I'm a disciplined adult at this point with this stuff. I didn't watch a second of the clips yesterday because I knew the trailer was dropping today. I was like, I can wait a day. I like, you know what I mean? Like I'm on the crack, but I'm a mature working crackhead. Okay, I can hold a steady job with my crack, dog. I'm not new to this. True to this. So I was the only thing I at first I went to YouTube to see if like Marvel or Sony had officially dropped a trailer yesterday, and I was like, oh, so those 2 second clips was all there was. Yeah, I don't know these people. I'm not following these influencers. And yeah, so I was able to wait it out.
Wonderful. And Cam, how about you? How did you? I don't know how you. It's nice to actually get you in a setting where we're talking about the actual nerd stuff. Or how did you receive like all of this going on?
I mean, the stuff yesterday, the only stuff I saw was those short clips and tweets
Mm.
meant absolutely nothing to me, right? Because a lot of the reaction was, how dare they, or what is this, or this is no, like, it's so negative so early, but you know it has no bearing on what you're actually going to see, right?
Right.
Then you get to the actual stuff, and I'll tell you what got me. When you see it's like 2.5 minutes, I'm like, okay, there's going to be stuff. Like, there's going to be a lot of stuff. So, waiting for it wasn't too difficult. But once we got to it, I was like, yeah, this is great. But yeah, the stuff, like the short stuff from yesterday, the way people try to pick that apart, I gotta be done with that. I cannot let that influence what I think about what's coming,
Yeah.
because I've almost never a snippet has almost never been bad to the point where even if the movie was bad, I went back and was like, see, it means nothing. You know, we get what we get when we get it, and what we got was good.
Yes, 1000%. And Jake, how about you?
I mean, I saw the ones that came across my timeline. As you know, I don't really follow any of these accounts. My almost all my the way it gets to me is through you retweeting it in some way.
Right.
And so like I saw the snippets or whatever. I thought it was a fun idea, particularly the way, and I know you'll go more into this probably, how they got small content creators involved. Um, I don't know. Like the thing that frustrated me is how people were like acting like, "Oh, this is just a gimmick." It's like, yeah, it's a gimmick. That's the thing.
Yes.
Like it's fun for you to try. The whole point of it is that you're supposed to see the 2 second clip and be like, "Whoa, I wonder what the context of that is." Like, yes, if you're asking that question, congratulations, the gimmick worked.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah, I think the only thing for me is, man, people are really angry, just generally angry, like all the time about everything. It doesn't matter what the conversation is. I mean, taking it from the Oscars this past weekend, coming into this, it's just like, grr. And,
Mm,
and the stuff. It's so funny because all of this intersected with Dune releasing their trailer, and
Mm.
everybody talking about Doomsday, and it's like, yo, what does Doomsday have to do with Dune? Yes, I understand they're releasing the same day, but guess what was trending yesterday? Avengers Doomsday, because everybody was so thinking about Dune. But then, as far as the Spider-Man portion of it is concerned, I think there's just a level at this point when, especially when I watch MCU Twitter, kind of just like generally lose its mind over everything. And I've said this before on this show, but I think when you start mentioning color grading for a 2 second shot that you haven't seen, I definitely think you need to go outside and find
Mhm.
something to do that's productive. Because I feel like mentally you are not in the greatest place. And that's
Also,
what
the thing for me is
yeah.
you don't have to watch big budget superhero movies at that point. Like honestly, because I'm not. If
Yeah.
someone says the MCU has bad color grading in comparison to like great movies, I agree with you. But like honestly, good for you. Watch French New Wave movies. Like honestly, like I'm happy for you.
Yes, yes, pretty much. Like it's at a point where it's gotten too much. But I think for me, yeah, it's the clip thing is nonsensical. But I do appreciate that they got the smaller content creators involved, as opposed to a lot of the people that we normally see all the time, who really, in a lot of ways, in some ways, are not about that life like other fans are. And it was nice to see them actually get shown out there. And then we had Tom Holland today in New York City doing the stuff right when the morning started with a bunch of fans around him. Real man of the people, Tom Holland. Like he embodies the character, and just it brought a good feeling to everybody. And that's why this trailer again, like, never have people been so happy to see a character suffer as much as it looks like Peter Parker is suffering in this film. Just general thoughts on the trailer. We could dive into specifics. Cam, I'll start with you. Watching it for the first time, how did you receive it?
the most interesting thing that they did with Spider-Man in the MCU was give him, it's like an RPG. You know how you play God of War, when you get to the end of the game, you got the blades and you got a spear and you got all the armor, and you're fucking yoked, right? They did that with MCU Spidey, only to give him everything and strip it away.
Mm,
And I just love, Spider-Man getting it out the mud. Like that Spider-Man, you know. Um homemade suit, less gadgets, even less friends, even less relationships. That man got to go through it. That he is there to be Jesus, He is there to suffer, and that boy is doing it somehow with a smile. The smile's under the mask, right? And then when he in public, that boy's struggling, man. But I think it's so interesting that we basically got again souped up Spidey for years and years and years, and now we're getting back to the basics, and it just looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. It really
Yeah,
does.
1000%. Jake, how about you? Because I know you were excited.
I'm really excited. I think a big thing. I remember a I remember when it was announced that Zendaya and Jacob Batalon were going to be in this movie. People were upset. It's like, why would you make him forget them if there's going to be anything? It's like, no, no, no. You don't make that plot. If you want to get rid of those characters, you kill them. The reason you make them forget him is because that he needs to be constantly reminded of the choice that he made.
Right.
And I think that the amount, the sadness that you just feel off of him when he's looking at them, it's a literal manifestation of the choice he made. And I think if those characters wouldn't be in it at all and you didn't see them at all, you could be like, oh, he's moving on. But then he can't move on because like Peter Parker didn't decide to move on, Spider-Man decided to move on. And so I just feel like having him have to feel that weight, not be comfortable with it, he's clearly not at peace with it. You know what I mean? Like there's a version of Spider-Man where it's like, you know what, I had to. Well, there's a version of a character who's like, you know, I had a relationship, had to give it up, but it was worth it in the end. He might say that, but clearly his actions, he's showing up at their apartment for a party, he's introducing himself. He clearly is not at peace with this decision he made. And I think that
He lives right there.
yeah,
He lives there.
and I think that that's such a great choice for this character because he's a character who I think can feel. He's a similar problem to Superman, where he's like too good to his core, and it's
Yeah.
hard to give him tension with his character because, like, you know he's always going to do the right thing. But I think that showing him how miserable doing the right thing can make him, I think allows him to be more of a nuanced character that we care more about, we can identify more with. Because I think, like I said, if he would just move on and be like MJ, who I don't care about her, like that's not a real person. But like he's I mean, I just checked my time. I don't know because it's daylight savings time now, but it looks like it's real yearner's o'clock. So we're gonna
Oh
see
man,
some real yearning in this movie. ACI, you and I think we're both ready for it.
this is right. This is right up our alley. The Carl Thomas meme earlier today was just fantastic. It was perfect in every single way. Rod, how about you? What were your general thoughts on the trailer?
Oh man, generally it just hit that the so y'all hit the thing about nailing the core of Peter, you know, because Peter is a sad boy, you know, and you have to be very careful because you have to put him through his paces to show his like indomitable will and pluck and his need to do the right thing. And so they nailed that element, but they've always nailed that with these latest Tom Holland ones. But it was the cameos for me, dog. That shit was like, oh, we in the MCU. This isn't just Spider-Man. This isn't Craven. This isn't, you know, them trying to wedge Venom into some bullshit. This is the MCU. You see Mark Ruffalo show up. You see Frank, you know, as the Punisher. Like like that was what was giving me like all these elements. And the fact that they were painting with all those elements in this trailer was like when they said street level, it's still Marvel street level. It's ninjas. It's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not, oh, two guys robbed a bank. Like, yeah, it's a little bit of that, but there's a lot of like the hand is around. So like when they nailed that stuff, man, I just started smiling and leaning back in my seat, like, yeah, boys, we almost back.
Oh man, it's so great to see not just like the dedication that Destin Daniel Cretton has to this character, seemingly in the comic panels, the kind of some of the stuff that you could relate to the animated series that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. A lot of this stuff is so fascinating, generally speaking, and I'm so excited for the character's growth and the strife that he goes through, and to see how he deals with, because it's similar to what we saw in the Batman, where Bruce Wayne, he don't care about Bruce Wayne, he's just being Batman all the time, and you can see how that's having an effect on his life. So we're now seeing what being Spider-Man all the time and how that is affecting Peter's life, and it's literally resulting in a physical metamorphosis
Hmm.
into what I kind of hope might be the animated series version of the Neogenic Nightmare, where the man spider situation pops up. So that, and the fact that the Punisher is in the mix on that, I love that part too. And yeah, Rod's point on the cameo, seeing Frank Castle, and it allows more intrigue into what his role is in the one shot that's coming out a month before the movie comes out. So that leads to I'm excited for that too. But there's just a level of everything uh, around what's going on with the story that interests me so much. I'm very excited to see what goes on next. But I think one thing I wanted to point out, we have a couple of different characters that are showing up in this movie. We do not see Sadie Sink's face, and she is third billed in this movie
Hmm.
behind Zendaya and Tom Holland. Pretty clear that in that scene that we see Spidey go to the tank, and there's some old lady in there, and then it looked like she's under some type of mind control, and then some other folks are under some type of mind control. As a couple of weeks ago when we did the deep dive into Brand New Day, it's pretty clear at this point that Sadie Sink is probably Jean Grey. I'm and especially with who Tremel Tillman's character is going to be, as far as the DODC, it's probably going to turn into the anti mutant militia. This gets very interesting and very complicated. Rod, I'll start with you in this sense. If in fact Sadie Sink is Jean Grey, how do you think that fits into this story?
Man, that would be very
Or how would you
interesting.
like it to fit in this story? Yeah.
That would be very interesting if they use this movie to really introduce the mutants more, because I've always felt like the fan conspiracy theories or whatever have always been so straightforward that I
Yeah.
have why mostly rejected them and been like, I hope they don't do that. Um and I like it when Marvel does this thing where they introduce these characters in other people's films so that when they do get to that film, they just hit the ground running. And it's not oh yeah, it's like Black Panther is probably my favorite example is, oh man, this is what a cool character. And then it's like origin story, bam, movie. Like, like we right in it. And so if they can do that with the X-Men, because we already saw the X-Men universe thing when we saw the Marvels. We saw a little bit of like, hey, okay, they doing a little something with these X-Men. You know, you had Daredevil. I mean, you had Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, a little something, but that don't really count. Um, and it wasn't just the idea of Jean Grey, but it was like there was a girl that looked like Rogue on the bus for a second,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah. A lot of
"Oh,
people
these
pointed it out.
you slick motherfuckers, dog. Are y'all really about to? Are y'all really about to backdoor the X Men in the Spider Man joint? Like that would be so dope if they do that. So I hope they do it just because I think everything they do in these Spider-Man movies that make them feel like part of the MCU and not solo Spider-Man spinoffs make the entire MCU go up. And it's something Jake and you bring up all the time. They have stars and it's like the NBA.
Yeah.
You have a star, you got to surround them with shit. This is like Tom Holland is SGA, and they're just like,
Hmm.
all right, put Chet in the movie, put Jalen, put both the Jalen's in the movie. Like that's how this
Exactly.
feels, and I'm digging it already.
Cam, you look like you had a lot of wheels turning there. Well, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I think with me, if she's playing Jean Grey, the interesting thing to me would be, what does she know?
Hmm.
How aware is
Mm.
she of the world's events? Does she go into this thing knowing who Peter Parker is and everything that Peter Parker did beforehand? Is she one of the people who, came through based on what Doctor Strange did from somewhere else? And that's how she has a working knowledge of all this. It's really interesting because one thing I've always liked about Spider-Man is how many different characters have their own agenda in the background and are working towards other things. I think so. If she is Jean Grey, what purpose does she serve early on? How does that play into everything else? I'm super curious. But like the Hulk's here, man. Like
Oh yeah.
there's so much, and it's always the fun thing about Spider-Man that they not struggle to do with Batman, but it's a little more difficult to do with Batman, a little more difficult to do with Superman, even though they have dual identities. Somebody can mean one thing to Peter Parker and mean something totally different to Spider-Man. And that is like one of his most
Hmm.
important qualities as a character and as somebody written about. So yeah, I am. If she is Jean Grey, that just gives me more questions. Where does she come from? What does she want? What does she know? So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. The mutant thing is going to be really interesting going forward, as we saw in Wonder Man with that with the whole thing that they did with the banning of enhanced people as far as the
Hmm.
acting is concerned, and it seems like this is going to start to spread. So I'm very curious to see how they kind of bring that portion in and how that looks. But Jake,
Well, I
whether
do
it's
just want to say that. Oh, I'm sorry about the rogue thing. I did see people. I think this is understandable from the South being like they are not making Rogue a Jets fan. That's fucked up. But also,
That's a good
I will
point.
say, as someone who lives in New York, it's like a 27 woman with a gray streak in her hair. Honestly, that's kind of just New York now.
Wait though. Rogue is from Mississippi, correct?
Yes,
Right.
I think so. At least she's from
Okay.
that area. Yeah.
If she's from Mississippi and she's that movie's set in 28. So if she's from Mississippi and she's under 20, if she's over 30, she'd be a Cowboys fan. Nobody grows up to be a Cowboys fan anymore. Like, what's my man's name? Kyler Murray. They were like, why
Yeah.
didn't you like the Cowboys growing up? You're from Dallas. He's like, because they were ass. So
Right.
it is a real possibility that a young woman from Mississippi could be a Jets fan because
No, you can convince me she wouldn't be a Cowboys fan, but you can't
but not
convince
a
me she'd be
Jets
a Jets
fan.
fan. Yeah,
Respect.
I
Well, here's
as a
the
Jets fan, no, she
mm,
wouldn't be a Jets fan.
the thing for me
Never.
is it was
Yeah.
more the color scheme of it and knowing like
No,
you could
I
do so
know,
much.
I know why you said
Yeah,
it.
I was just gonna say, and you could do so much with that character because like she was like a street urchin for a while. Like she could have
Yeah.
stole that jacket. Like that might not have nothing to do with her
No,
fandom. Like that's such a white coded thing that when white people see people in sports clothes, they're like, clearly you're a fan of that team. It's like that depends on where you from and your culture. Like sometimes I just needed a green shirt, homie.
If you black, you got to check the shoes because if those match, it
Yeah.
could be it's up for
It could
grabs.
listen. I used to when I had white friends back in the day. I used to throw them for a loop because I'd show up in a different throwback all the time, and they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know you like the Celtics." I was like, "I fucking hate the Celtics. It's the worst team in the world. I'm not wearing this about me needing something to go with these Nikes, dude."
So Jake, whether it's Sadie Sink or anything else in particular, what stood out to you as you watched this trailer?
I mean, I liked how it was clear that as you were talking about the relate that different characters have different relationships with Peter Parker and Spider Man, and I like that we got to see each of those. That the relationship that the Punisher has is with Spider Man, the relationship that Banner has is with Peter Parker. Like I
Mm,
actually like that they set that up, and I like that they introduced Banner in this trailer as Banner
Yes.
because
mhm,
I think that there is a worry like that no like the Hulk has been a problem since 2018. Like
yeah.
once they did the smart Hulk shit, they didn't know what to do. And so if we're back to the Hulk being dangerous, and I think that having him and the way you do that is you have him set up in a safe, normal setting. He's a college professor. He's a sweet guy. He's Mark Ruffalo wearing sensible khakis. And I think that you need that in order to then make him dangerous again. So that really excited me. The interaction with the Punisher really excited me. And just, honestly, what the thing that excited me is I don't know who he's playing, but Keith David's talking about spiders. Like, shit, I didn't even know that was
Mhm.
a possibility.
I have some thoughts. Like I think the initial thing that stood out that somebody posted immediately, then I was like, oh, Miles Warren, aka the Jackal. I was just like,
Mm,
oh, that kind of fits in because a couple of things that we didn't see in this trailer. You mentioned Jake. You mentioned the Hulk. We did not see Tombstone, who's supposed to play a
mhm.
very very large role in this and how all of this goes. So I'm just generally excited to see how this kind of coalesces and comes together. And I think that's the most wonderful thing about a Spider-Man movie. To Rod's point earlier, anybody could show up. It really
Mhm.
is like the perfect playpen for anybody to just drop by in an instant. And we have so many corners. I mean, we got the goddamn hand. And
That
why
was
is
crazy.
Peter's mask off while he's fighting them? the joint where he rips the katana, I was like,
Bruh,
yo, okay, we are so back. I just
bruh.
love that, man.
There looked like there was organic webbing in one of the things. I like when he was falling, I was like, and they purposely cut off his arm so you don't, but you see he doesn't have his web shooters on, but then you see him like, and you're like, are they going organic webbing on us? Like they're throwing so much at this trailer. And this is the other part about all Marvel trailers that I love. They could be
Hmm.
lying, bro. They could be lying.
Yeah.
They I love when they lie to me. I don't want to go to the film and know. I want to be like, damn, that shit wasn't even in there. That's what I want. Man, you know how excited I was in Wakanda when it wasn't the Hulk and it was Mark Ruffalo in that big ass Iron Man suit. I was like, yo, they just be fucking with us. I like that because the culture has
All the
become
time.
too speculative and people start guessing too good, and then they get disappointed in the movie from shit they said they wanted to see, So
Yeah, you're right.
I was very I felt they were doing a lot of like misdirects and throwing a lot of stuff at us. Um so yeah, I enjoyed all of that too.
Okay, so I want to go around the room real quick because I know we got to get to Blade. So I want everybody to list one thing in regards to the trailer itself that you wanted that you're most excited to see expounded upon further as you see. So Jake, I'll start with you.
I mean, I just want to see much how dark it gets for Peter in terms of like, is he spying on MJ and her new boyfriend through a window? Is he
Oh, you
swinging
want a
try?
you situation?
Like I just like because he's
I
clearly
saw
under so much
you
pressure.
and him
Yeah,
walking in the rain.
exactly. I want him to be in, like an R&B music video. I think that informs the stuff he's going through. You know what I mean? Like with the whatever issues he's having. Because obviously, once again, he's living next door to them. That's not an accident. That's a
Right.
crazy decision to make.
Yeah,
He's
right.
definitely
Bruh.
like he's probably lying to himself about how obsessed he is. But you're living in there's a lot of places to live in New York City. A lot of neighborhoods. I mean,
Oh my
Dude,
god,
was
yeah,
that
man.
Flash Thompson at the party kind of making eyes with MJ, or was that a different new guy?
No, that's the dude who played
Ezra
what's
Bridger on
at there you go, Ezra Bridger
Oh, word?
in
That's what that
Ahsoka.
was? Oh
Yes.
man. Yeah, he's a heartthrob, dog. That's a problem.
mhm.
Yeah, man, this is the all time
He's
down
under
bad
pressure. He's under
situation.
pressure.
Yeah, bro. My man Pete be going through it, bro. Like they couldn't just give her like some sloppy ass nigga that he was like, oh, I'm gonna get her back in the third act. Like they always gotta give this man the hardest struggle.
Oh shit! With that being said, Rod, what's one thing in the trailer that you would like
Man,
to you're looking forward to being
you know
expounded
what?
upon?
Why don't you and Cam go and I'll go last? Because I can't do just one thing, but y'all can probably like knock some off my list.
Well, I'll tell you this, Rod. As always, I will always let you have the floor in terms of if you have more. So, but
Okay.
Cam, how about you?
Beating up niggas. I like, like I love Spider-Man like getting down to business. Like I'm all for action adventure. I'm all for doing your spying. I'm all for figuring out your powers. Sometimes whooping niggas asses is what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And like we in New York, we got Daredevil might pop up. We definitely got the Punisher in there. And you know what their special power is? Whooping niggas asses. So
Mhm.
Spider-Man getting in there and like being real upset with dudes because like we didn't seen him up against this super villain, that super villain, a bunch of like regular ninjas, like ninjas, but not like superpowered ninjas. He about to beat the shit out these boys, and I
Mhm.
can't wait for it. Like that, we need that angst to come out. Like fuck saving the world. Let's whoop these niggas asses. I can't wait. So excited.
Oh man, honestly, like for me, it's been a very very long time since Spider-Man: Homecoming. The fact that we get Michael Mando Scorpion, that Scorpion Spider-Man showdown, I need it in the worst way. I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited for that. I mean, it kind of speaks to Cam's point about just whooping folks. Like I want to see the fights. That part of it is the physicality of Spider-Man, especially as it seems like this metamorphosis is supposed to make him even stronger than before. So with that being said, and especially if they do Man Spider, holy shit, let
Man,
me tell you,
man.
oh my god. That for me, the metamorphosis thing and what that leads to, I am all over that. So Rod, you have the floor.
So I'm glad y'all went because y'all took a couple off my list. Thank goodness. Um, so I want to see Frank during the day. It felt weird seeing the Punisher out and it was full broad daylight. I felt like he was kind of like emasculated in that scene when Peter's like, "Go home, Frank," and just, like he's a mild annoyance to Spider-Man. um, so I definitely want to see that because I think there could be some good comedy there. And I think the biggest element, other than obviously, I want to see Daredevil. I want to see. Do we get Mephisto? Do you have to pull out the? Do you got to pull it back out on them, AC? Because I feel like there's a way out of. We know what the way out in the past was for him to get like back to, and I feel like they kind of they like reversed it from the comics to the where it's like Doctor Strange is the reason no one knows you. And I'm like, maybe Mephisto can be the reason you get your girl back. I don't know. I'm just saying, you live across the hallway. Let's not let's not kid ourselves, buddy. And the last thing for me was the father figure. That's like a crucial
Yeah.
part of the Peter Parker like experience in these MCU films. And of course we had Tony, then we had Happy, then we kind of had Doctor Strange. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering, is Banner the new like guy who is gonna center the mentorship and all that around? Because it feels like they kind of keep going there with these films, and that's probably like the biggest thing I want to be explored is what is Banner's role in this film? Because everything else we pointed out, I kind of can just draw in my head like, yeah, street level, Scorpions,
Yeah.
Daredevil, Bruce Banner in there. I'm like, what is your job here, buddy? Like I know you're a science guy, but like, are you gonna Hulk
Yeah.
out? Gonna help with the street shit? Are you gonna just, you just gonna be the dude that Peter's, coming to for advice? I need to know.
I would have to imagine, at the very minimum, that we are gonna get the actual Hulk back because I feel like enough people have been clamoring for it and enough people have been hoping for it that I just think it's too easy of a comic book connection to, in the midst of Banner trying to help Peter figure his stuff out, something happens that messes up Banner's entire peaceful flow and turns this into a Hulk is wrecking New York, and Spidey and the Punisher got to figure out a way to slow this dude down, and it's gonna be
Mhm.
so fun. That part of it, if they go there, like that's the thing about this movie. There are so many threads to pull on. It's just extremely exciting, and that's why over the past year and change, we've done 3 different dedicated Spider-Man episodes, like really deep diving into this because this character it's a global phenomenon. And
Mhm.
it's just so exciting to have back. There's more we could say, but there's going to be plenty of time for us to get into more Spider-Man as the months go on leading up to July. I want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode because we got Blade 2 to do. Before we go, want to thank Rod and Cam for joining us. Cam, first, where can we find you, sir? Where can we find your work? I know it's WrestleMania season. What you got
Yeah,
in the hopper?
man. Yeah, man. Yahoo Uncrowned just did a feature this last weekend with still AEW World Champion MJF,
Mm,
talking about the what he's trying to do with this second reign, trying to become one of those goats, referencing guys like Dory Funk. And he wore actually Terry Funk's tights over the weekend. So cool catching up with him, figuring out where he wants to go as a star going forward. Yeah, WrestleMania season's right around the corner. Just did a feature for Brass Ring Media, my man Zach Haydorn, talking about the guys in the main event picture. Have another one coming up later this week. And then I'm already sitting on. If you watch Monday Night Raw, and I actually went to Monday Night Raw this last Monday,
yeah.
a big thing happened. A big guy challenged another big guy, and we actually have a full feature done. Where that's coming out and who it's coming out with is going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, working on that. But yeah, you can find me at theringer.com. You can find me at Yahoo Sports Uncrowned, South Congress Podcast. Just did something with my man Joel Anderson Jr. And hey, if you listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast, recently was a guest
Which
on
I
that.
did.
Had an amazing time.
Great
One of
episode.
my
That's
most
fine.
fun experiences talking wrestling in a very long time. So a little bit of everything everywhere. Yeah.
Wonderful stuff, man. Appreciate you for joining us. And Rod, where can we find you, my brother?
You can just search the Blackout Tips everywhere you get podcasts, and I'll come up. And it's a podcast I do with my wife, and also on Patreon. Like, join the Patreon. If you guys are members of the MC University Patreon, hop on over.
Yes, yes, wonderful stuff. And Jake.
At the J Christie on Twitter, J Christie on Blue Sky, at the J Christie on TikTok, doing a TikTok every day still. Got an exciting one coming up today with a friend of the pod about a tweet from LL Cool J. So that's a little preview for what comes out on at 4:30 this afternoon.
Ooh, nice. Looking forward to
Unblock
that.
me, you
And
coward.
LL Cool J blocked you?
Yeah, I had some jokes about accidental races that I don't think he took too well.
Well, I'll tell you what the tweet is after we're done. And we'll
oh man, you can follow me on Twitter at Anthony Canton _3. If you're on TikTok, I cover every New York Knicks game. I've been recapping them all. This season is winding down, and I'm definitely feeling the nerves because this playoffs is going to be very nerve wracking for all Knicks fans. So if you feel so inclined, check me out there, Anthony Canton 1. Follow the show on all platforms at MC University Pod. I put a thread on Twitter earlier today of the previous Spider-Man Brand New Day episodes, which we previously dove into further. So if you want more of the theories and stuff like that, we got like 3.5 hours worth of content in those three episodes. So check that out. And of course, subscribe to the Patreon, the YouTube channel, all those good things. For Cam Hawkins and Rob Morrow and Jake Christie, I'm Anthony Canton III. This has been Marvel Cinematic University, and we will talk to you next time, which will be Daredevil Born Again Season 2.